The story of Grey Owl was well known. Born in England in 1888, Archie Belaney came to Canada. Okay, there's spoiler alert here. Grey Owl wasn't really named Grey Owl. It's really named Archie Belaney. Okay, if you didn't know that, I'm sorry to have to tell you. Born in England in 1888, Archie Belaney came to Canada at age 17. He lived with a group of Ojibwa in northern Ontario to learn their way of life, claiming he was the child of a Scottish father and an Apache woman. In the early 1930s, he moved to Saskatchewan to run a beaver conservation program at the recently established Prince Albert National Park. His work, including 3 books, was instrumental in the later development of conservation programs. After his death, his claims of Aboriginal ancestry were discovered to be false, and this overshadowed the legacy of his conservation work for a number of years. Born in 1893, Cecelia Wetton was a journalist and local historian based in North Battleford. Among other projects, she interviewed several Aboriginal elders who provided accounts of the life of their people before the arrival of Europeans and the subsequent transformation their culture underwent. Evidence of Wetton's research in this field is found in this letter from Grey Owl to Wetton, dated May 1937, and preserved in the papers of Cecelia Wetton at the Saskatchewan Archives Board. Dear Madam, he writes, I received your very interesting and friendly letter, but the delay in answering is owing to ice conditions. In fact, this letter may not leave here for another week. I'm over 100 miles north from Prince Albert, not nearly far enough for me. I've been to Prince Albert, and I don't think that's a very nice thing to say. How well you understand the attitude of mind of the Indian. Beaver are symbolical of the helplessness of all native life on these western plains. I go further and say that they typify the utter misery and hopelessness of all living creatures everywhere that are unfortunate enough to stand in the path of the self-interest and the parasitical, blood-sucking, and the predatory instincts of soulless freebooters who carry on their piratical activities in the name of business, progress, or some other such euphemism. I am taking very seriously the responsibility that seems to have come upon me as a connecting link, an intermediary between the white man and the Indian. I have an unparalleled opportunity with my Indian mind, training, and experience. I am, I fear, only a half-breed, but lean heavily towards my mother's people. And my lucky entry into the public life of the civilized world to act as interpreter for both in a small way. John Tutusis holds a paper of mine, a kind of manifesto, outlining an Indian policy that seems constructive, tolerant, and satisfying to all parties. Will you ask him to let you see it? You may use excerpts for publication if you wish. I would like your opinion on it. By the way, I am adamantly opposed to interference by church or state in Indian religion, ceremonial dancers, ceremonial dress, arts and language, including cutting the hair of the long-hair people, and believe one of our race should be a good Indian rather than a poor imitation of a white man. Very little of the Indian tribal life, as mentioned above, will clash with the propriety and decorum of civilized usage. Sincerely, Grey Owl. P.S. Please, dear lady, do not use quotation marks around my name. It is not an apology of a name nor a nickname. It is a real name and stands on its own feet like yours. Well, he didn't mince words, did he?